Hello, I'm Scott. I'm the breathing guy. I will train you to locate, generate, activate core key energy in physical activity. This video is the art of putting, making a 3-foot putt. And how can you make the most effective 3-foot putt possible? Now, putting is an art. There's a state of being, calculating, and movement. And what are the techniques that you could do with the least amount of effort to produce the most amount of effect is the whole program of the art of putting. And you have to find your own way. How to make a putt where it's stable, consistent, and these are the concepts I'm going to present you. Now the first thing is the putter. Let's go deal with the putter. And the fact is, when you putt a pendulum stroke, or any stroke, when you take the putter back, like this, the putter face turns out. When you come through, the putter face turns. So if you're like this, it goes out and in, involved. So that's a fact there. How do you deal with it? 2, my suggestion is for all your putts, hit where the shaft is. Now when you're having the other type of putter where the shaft is back here, you hit right where the point is, where it comes in. Why? If you have it back here, if there's any turn, the face here will be really extended out. Here, if you put it in the center, if it go out or in a little bit, you have less effect when you're coming through the putt. It's coming and you're just slightly turned in when you're hitting it. And if you hit in the middle, it has less effect of being open, going to the right or left, the influences. So dealing with the putt that way. Now, how can you hit the putter ball where you have the least chance of that face turning in or out is what this putter video is going to talk about. Now first, in one of my videos I go through many, if you want to say shape of the feet, what type of stance do you want to use? And that's the deciding, because you have 3 stances. A closed stance, where the left foot's back, a box stance, and an open stance. And I'm going to make some suggestions that you can test out over in the course of your activity, see what you like first. But this is about a 3-foot putt, and how to make a wrist or hand putt only. No movement of body, no effort, least effort, biggest impact. That's it. And I'm contending with the new putters today with the mass, this weight of this head on this bullseye putt is so much, and then you're hitting a ball on the fast greens. It's going to move. Why do you have to put any effort to it? Let the putter head mass do the work, not you. How do you use your tool? Putters are tools to achieve a goal. Now you do have to learn to read the angle of different grasses and stuff like that. That's something else, but I'm just pure mechanics of a putter. And that's all we're dealing with, and why put so much effort into putt when the putter mass can do the work for you. That's all. So I'm going to go into 3 stances of several ways of getting your hands. And the goal here is to where literally you're just making the putter pendulum go back and forth by the mass. You pull it up, release it. You can do it one-handed. Test this. You don't have to take my advice on that. So grip. You never, even regular grip, you never want to put a grip where you're, see that putter here, you wrap it around tight here. Man, you make yourself tight and stiff. What you want to do is have the putter way up here at your finger, and you only use a little finger in this putting form. Just a little. You don't need anything. You're not trying to hit the ball. You're trying to, even when I say scoot the ball. So when you just touch this, now there's 3 ways you can have your hand. This way, so you can go like that. You can turn it here between 30 and 45 degrees. Now that has a greater angle, but you can pull it back easy, but it has a short forward stroke on that. A lot of people, you know how they putt, they go like that, they pull it back. This one you pull it, just let it hit the ball and go through, and it stops. You don't have much distance both this way, same thing, you just let it swing through. Just pull it back and just squeeze the little finger. You're way up in your fingers here. Squeeze the little fingertip into the putter. That's all. The rest of the hands, balance it out a little bit and let it float. That's all. And the other way you can do it is put your hand back this way, where your palm way over here, same thing. And this way you have a greater angle. Your putt, because of the wrist action, can go follow through. So those are the three you get. Straight here, short, both two of them have short passers. You can take it back real easy and hit. When your hand is straight, you can take it back and it doesn't have far forward action. Now, stance. I'm going to start with a box stance. That's where your feet, not far apart. And when you do this, always remember, what's the function of the left hand is to guide the putter head to the ball. What's the function of the right hand is to add force to it. That's the key. Well, when you're dealing with a 3-foot putt and you've got a massive head right here, why do you need much force? So if you do a box stance, you're bringing the ball to the center of your body, to the center of the body. You bring your elbows to the side because you've got to have stable shoulders. Make your shoulders square. Too many people do this. That makes you weak. Square your shoulders, bend over. Now, stabilize the lower body. Push the feet in a little bit. Just like you're pulling the feet in, not knees, feet. That way you stabilize the hip. You can do that in a regular putt. You do that, and now you can soften your shoulders more. And you need soft shoulders in a putt. Anyway, when you do this, stabilize your elbows, your arms, and involved. And then with the hand like this, you can just pull it back like this. Like that. 3-foot putt. I won't go with it, but just virtually one hand. It's virtually stabilized and let the mass hit it. Involved. 2, you remember, for this, I advocate here. Some people might want up here or in behind. That's your choice. Same with the other form of putter. Next. Here. So this is a box stance, hand stable, and realize what's your palm. Now when you're like this, at a 45, same principle. You're putting the little finger pressure here, you're pressing, you want to go as much towards the knuckle as you can, not the middle palm. That way you get the most out of it involved. You can even do it this way too. You just pull back like that. And then you got this way. You also got the hand, always remember, by the finger, press the little finger into it, this hand, and point this little finger out, and you can really have a good follow through. If you want to follow through, watch this. See if you just make your foot up and just let it follow through naturally. So this way makes a follow through. This has a short follow. This. You have great going back. When you have this, you don't have as much ease going back. It builds a lot more resistance, and believe it or not, that makes the putter head faster going through. The more you pull it back, the more it's going to go through this way. This way, easy to go back. There's no resistance. You can just pull it and just let the putter head go. The way you position your hand, but always up here, never here. The way the wrist can move. You have to find out what's the best wrist movement range that you want, that you feel good. You have even, top, or underneath. This gives you the greatest follow through. You can see, this actually right here, when you're like this, you pull it back, you can really accelerate if you want because it has higher resistance and the muscle resistance to release. Next. I'm going to do a closed stance. When you do a closed stance, same principle. Put the ball on the outside of your foot. You can use any one of these and have the putter face maybe a 1/4 inch from the ball. Since your hand is basically straight even. In other words, what you want to do is have the shaft of the hand go back evenly. So when you take it back, that way the shaft in our arm is all even, straight. And all you're doing is stabilize by pressing this arm against the side. Shoulder down, rotate the shoulder down here, and that stabilizes the arm to be in one position. And you just pull back and let it float. It's a floating concept. It's an easy concept. So this is the value of it. For a 3-foot putt, why put effort? Why move your body a whole lot? Let the putter head mass hit the ball and let your wrist be fluid. It's going to go in. You can test it. Use one of those 3 grips, depends on how your wrists are. Are they fluid? Are they tight? Find a point. But why do this? You solve it. 2, always make sure your feet, whatever position, even the back stance, push your feet slightly up. Now soften the upper body. Now stabilize your arm and ball. Next stance. I'm going to give you 2 forms here. You have an open stance. Now, if you do an open stance and want a straight arm, you move way over. So that way, the hand goes back here. My putter head might turn out, but when it comes in, it's going to be perfectly straight. Now, I'll stabilize. Make sure this area of elbow is pointing straight out. You rotate your shoulder down. Rotate your shoulder and press the feet, and just slowly, like that. Stabilization, having the wrist movement. And the other way you can do it, the other way is on an open stance, is go back to the back foot. And this makes the back arm straight and turn it open like this. That makes it a little bit more stable because you have more mass pressing it. Rotate your shoulder down into it. So that arm is straight as a board and it's firm. That's the key. Aiming is another thing. But when you do it that way, it goes, whatever you putt, you really want to aim it, and the hand is up. That gives you the greatest range. And the whole idea of wrist being soft, let the wrist bend down so it's just fluid, it's just floating. So understand for a 3-foot putt, then you got over, same thing, you do here. These are using your different footsteps, but why not just involve the mass? Just use the mass, use the pivot of your wrist based on your grip. The way you're gripping it and the way you're angling your hand and ball. Show you something here. You might like this. It's fun. You can't get any softer than this. But anyway, it's like get here, feet almost together, like this, tip your body, and you pull it back, just like, soften your shoulder. Rotate your shoulder down, press your feet together, and you just go. These are just a different way of making 3. Now you can make a 10-foot putt like this, believe it or not. I'll show you if you want to make a 5, 6, 7, more, where the mass of the putter head itself floating can't. Now the more you pull that putter head back, the greater the momentum force that's going to do it. So you can do a 4-foot putt just by going back a little farther, like this one, and just go. Just pull back a little bit and just follow through. See, my thumb right here is like a guide. So there's like a press push. So it's not just floating, it's the wrist. Stabilizing it, putting it way back up here in that palm, and press the thumb a little into it. It just like stabilizes it. Like I said, you want greater mass, turn under. You want even, short. If you want to do this, fine. But the stabilizing of the right elbow, right arm itself begins here. Shoulder back, rotate it down, here, and then soften. Press your feet together just a little bit, squeeze your cheeks together a little bit, and just go. Exhale, I forgot the exhale. The key, I don't care what putting you want, you don't want muscle tension. You want to relieve it. Blow out your mouth like this. Pause, squeeze glutes. As you're blowing out like this through your lips, soften your shoulders just a little. Inhale big. Once you get past halfway in your breath, pause. And then soften, shoulders soften. As you're exhaling, you can soften the shoulders. That's the key element there. Using your breath to become more fluid is the name of the game. Pause, putt. Then continue your exhaling or inhale. But again, these are just forms of making a 3-foot putt. I advocate from the wrist, using the mass of the putter head, not your body. Why? Once you stabilize that right side, that right arm in position, and the wrist can pivot, I don't care any of those 3 forms I showed you like, is that you will have a perfect putt for a 3 foot. You don't put any effort into the other. Now, if you want a long putt, say 10 foot putt or something like that, the other choice is, instead of just using one hand, just for fun, you're going to use 2 hands. So what I'm going to do is, see the right hand? Now remember, I said the function of the right side is to put force into the putter head. And this is the finger to do it with. So you get everything you set up. I like an open stance, arms straight, and over the top this way. And what I'm going to do is, for this putter, I'm about 1/4 inch away, and I go soften shoulders, rotate the shoulder down, squeeze feet. I put a little force. I just touch this finger. Yeah, so I got a grip here, and I just touch. I just push like that. So you can push it. You get a lot of power. You can go 10 feet with that form. Number 1 rule: soft shoulders, stable lower body. Rotate your shoulders back, head straight with the spine. So it's sort of natural. So you're just going down very naturally. And you want a pendulum, you want to do an open stance, fine, but get in that grip and then just go. You're not going to go fast. You can't. The wrist won't bend. And squeeze the fingers a little tighter at the point of impact. The force that can be generated in that ball, you won't believe. It really is a magnificent feel. Developing a fluid feel in your putting is what I'm trying to get, but you have to have a stable lower body, a fluid upper body, and the hands, using the wrist that way to make a pendulum action. So for the 3 foot putt, you want to go 4 foot. Depends on how heavy your mass is and how fluid your wrist is. If you want more force, use the other hand very specifically. If you want to say pointedly, it would be the best term. This is the art of putting. This is the 3 foot putt, wrist only process, understanding and making your body, shaping your body so it's the best way to achieve your goal repeatably. This is Scott, the breathing guy.